Good afternoon, everybody. It's your baby boomer Kitty Lane from the Peninsula in Virginia. Um, I recorded a whole hour-long video last night to upload today, and I guess it was God's way of saying He didn't want me to put that out here. I was actually in the midst of an MS episode, and I was slurring real bad, and I was stuttering, and yeah, there was some stuff going on. And because I was in the middle of that, I don't remember everything that I was talking about. I don't think it was anything bad. I know it was crochet related, but yeah, I know one thing I said, that please, 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 if you know of anyone who needs patterns tested, I'm so excited about being a pattern tester. It's something that I've only done once. I was in college when I did it, so that was 40 years ago, and it was a rewarding experience. And then with the cows that I've only done two cows, and they were under Mikey. Although crocheting with bag a day is almost like doing a cow, and it's just as exciting. But yeah, I want to I want to test patterns. I want to try different fibers. Um, I know that acrylic is not all there is out there. I know that the cotton is not all there is out there, but that's basically what I've worked with. I have worked with some chunky yarn. Yeah, I know there's more than this. I know that there's more than this. And at first, I really did not like cotton. It felt so rough going between my fingers. It would soak up all the moisture in my hands and felt really, really rough and, kind of skippy, like, you know. But the more I work with it and the more I keep my coconut oil close at hand, it feels better and better and better and better and better. But yeah, uh, the acrylic I'm still with, and the experience that I'm having with the shawls. The first shawl I did was a four worsted weight. I showed you that one. That was the one that I got the pattern from Crystal in Bag a Day. And the second one was the rainbow. I call it the. I said the rainbow mermaid. It might be the rainbow princess because she likes princesses as well. So either way, it's going to be a rainbow something. And it was. It said it was a four, but it felt more like a three. It was the thinnest four I'd ever dealt with. I mean, it was like a step above a sport. No, 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 a baby weight. Yeah, it was like right there above that. So it felt a lot like it. But this one, it's even though it says it's a four weight, I know you can't tell from there, but it's yeah, and it's not thick like the other one. So it really feels more like a it feels more like a three. This is the Pioneer Woman, coral stripes, acrylic yarn. It's 394 yards for 360 meters. The colors that are in it are red, flamingo, light pink, coral, and white. That's what I want. Okay. It is a three. It is a three. Can you see it? Right there. It's a three. I knew it didn't feel like a four. It felt really, really good going between my fingers. The mandala ombre. Now the mandala that I did, the rainbow one, felt like this, but the mandala ombre feels closer to a 4-weight. It says 4, and I don't know if it's the fact that I'm doing a lot of front double posts, but it really the texture is thickening up and it's kind of bumpy. And I like it, but not for me. I like the way it looks, and I know it's going to make somebody really, really happy and really, really warm, but it's not for me. It is not for your girl. Your girl stays a little on the warm side, and I like to breathe and be comfortable. But in breaking the monotony of the shawls, bucket hats, bucket hats. And I don't know what it is about me and ribs, but these just, oh my God, that's just so much fun to me. Bucket hat. And I'm going to put this in my stash bag. I'm trying to remember everything that I said last night. I was really having an episode, and I was having a hard time talking. I really was. But it's probably better that the video was lost, because I would probably be in tears now if I was looking at it. And I'd be like, oh God, no. No, they can't see that. But however, I can only come to you as I am. I'm just me. But yeah, the plan is to make more hats. I want to... One thing I was saying, I want to go live as I get more subscribers. And speaking of subscribers, I want to thank you all so much, each and every one of you. I have so far surpassed my goal for June. Next month I plan to ramp it up. I really plan to ramp it up and put myself out there, because I gotta get the subscriptions up, and I'm excited about that. Also, there is another Create and Relate, and I'm hoping it's a lady. I've corresponded with her, but we've not really exchanged any genders. But I'm excited about them coming into the fold. I just, part of me feels like the more the merrier. And my prayer is that the negativity that has gone around just ceases. Fortunately, I have not had any of it, but then again, being on social media for so long, I've been in some aspect of social media since 2009, and being a poet and sometimes being booed off stage. Can you forgive me for one moment? Excuse me. Maybe y'all can answer this for me. I sat back here all morning. I got up and got myself going, and I sat down and started crocheting this morning at 8 o'clock. I'm kind of pulled back a little bit on everything, because when I start early, something always happens that stops me or distracts me, and I feel like I don't get anything done. And I have goals for myself every day. Not pieces necessarily, but stitches, because I know that I get bored out of my mind so easily. I can start on the hat and this is going to be the next start. And I think this is actually navy blue and not royal. Yeah, but it's really, really dark. And I know that one's going to be it's going to be red, white, and blue. But yeah, I'll get really bored with the colors quickly. So I'm challenging myself to do a certain amount of stitches per day, and I keep up with my stitches. But it's like as soon as I started setting these things for myself, then as soon as I start my videos, everybody wants to come in the room, or everybody wants to talk, or, and I'm like, really? And then when I'm sitting back here by myself doing my video, I'm having a daggone multiple sclerosis episode. Really? But it is what it is. I guess that's what we call life. And we pick up the pieces and we keep moving. So, yeah, I showed you the hats that I made. Was talking about going live. But I want to hone my skills, get my equipment better, do all of that. And my birthday is December 2nd. And that's when I want to go live. I was looking at Happy to Hook Creations channel a little while back, and they were doing something where it was kind of like Christmas Santas. What do they call it? Secret Santas. It was kind of like that. It was, you send somebody yarn and they make something with whatever you send them. I don't know how, where, when, what. I would love to participate. I would love to participate. I think I'm more excited about trying different yarns, different textures, because I've been stuck on acrylic all my crocheting career. I mean, like I said, I have tried others. I had an experience with a super bulky yarn. I made a blanket, and I don't know if I had a bad batch or, excuse me, I think I'm allergic to the camera, y'all. Not yawning all morning, and now all of a sudden. But I think I got a bad batch, because I made the blanket and I was able to make two hats out of it as well. But it left a real yucky, oily, sticky, oily residue on my hands. I wasn't appreciating that. I wasn't appreciating that at all. Now, I have and have had, excuse me, old yarn. But what happens to, I don't have any by me right now. Most of it I've weeded out. But usually as the acrylic gets older, it gets kind of stiff and scratchy. I've never had any yarn to get oily. And it was a very unpleasant experience for me. I just, and it was just, it was uncomfortable. You're sitting here crocheting. You do everything you can to keep your hands clean in your area, conducive for crocheting, so that you don't mess up the material. And then this material is leaving this nasty, funky residue on your hands. Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. And then I also was gifted, I would have to say it was 5. I have some of that around here, but I don't know what to do with it. I it's I don't know, maybe I'll make something Christmassy, because it's basically like burgundy, royal green, and white. I was thinking about making doggy beds with it because it's kind of thick, but the dogs that one of them we had to send him back to be adopted out to someone else, because he ate everything. He dug holes. He would not calm down. And we had him since he was a puppy. But and I say I can't have dogs. I'm allergic to them. But my daughter has dogs. She has service animals. We'll talk about that one day too, but we're not going to talk about that right now. And she watches my channel, and I'm glad, because I'm not going to say anything to y'all I haven't said to her. But yeah, oh, I might have it right here. I might have one of the. Rug yarn. This is the scratchiest stuff I have ever worked with in my life. But it's nothing like that oily, yucky stuff that I had. And this says that, well, no, it says it's 3-ply, but it doesn't say it's 3-weight. It's like, I don't know, I guess you could make like exfoliators with it. I guess. It says it's good for plastic canvas, toys, dolls, rugs, and other crafts. It's only 60 yards. I started making panels with it, and I had like a light purple. It wasn't quite lavender. It was just like a light purple, green, blue. I forgot what the other colors were, but like I said, it's only 60 yards. So I was making the little panels, and I was going to put them all together and just make like a little throw rug for my daughter's bathroom. But, and there's another one. So see, I was actively making the little panels. Eventually I'll put them all together. But I still, you know, it to try it at least, and that came in one of the totes. I got 3 huge 55-gallon totes one time, full of yarn, and that came in it. And it's, if I'm not mistaken, it was 17 of those. So it was exciting to take those and work with them. Now the other that I have, and I don't have it in here, I think it's a 5. And that's the one that I said I wanted to make the doggy beds out of. Or the doggy rugs, you know. Because it's not a whole lot, or maybe do something Christmassy. I was thinking also about the possibility of doing coasters and the little coaster holders. I was going to try to make like a little bowl to hold the coasters in, still with the Christmas theme. But I've never done I can't even say the word right now. I've never made animals, but I did make a sofa. So I would assume it's the same concept. My oldest daughter is Sigma Gamma Rho, and I made a couch. She got a Build-A-Bear for her birthday, and the Build-A-Bear was just like kind of sitting there wherever, and I was like, oh my God, if she had her own little throne to sit on. And I took a Folgers box that I had to use for forming, and I crocheted around it, and I made a couch for the Build-A-Bear. And her looks so cute. She looks so cute. And her royal blue and gold. She looks so darling. Okay. Okay, I had a moment. I'll do that. Yeah, but I don't like thread. I can tell you that one reason I don't. Working with the smaller hooks, I mean like the little teeny weeny hooks that you use to make like doilies and things like that. I crochet kind of rough. And in crocheting rough with those needles and the little fine points that they have, I tend to stab myself a lot. And that's not comfortable. but the smaller, I'm sorry, the smaller yarns, the smaller fibers, I do want to try. I really, really, really want to try. Um, I am in the process of purging my yarn now. I see myself possibly being a little while without yarn. I know I'm going to go absolutely crazy. But that's one reason I want to try to build the page up, because once I am able to better my setup, then I can show some of my creations, have a crochet along. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to ask, all of my patterns are here, or they look like this. Now, I understand what this means. I definitely understand what that means. And I can make that happen. You give me that sheet, I can definitely make that happen. I can read patterns. I can read crochet patterns. I can follow diagrams. I don't. I prefer written patterns over diagrams, simply because my eyesight is not like it used to be, and I have trouble seeing the grid lines. And if it was something that I could put on the computer where I could darken the lines, because if you take the time to sit there with the pen and you just are manually going through, it's a little too tedious for me, and I become bored with the project and I'll just put it down. But if I were doing it for somebody else, it would be different. I'd force myself to do it. But I want to, I don't think anybody's perfect. So I want to get better. Even though I've been crocheting for 55 years, I have learned so much over these past 2 years from watching you all on the YouTube channels. I've learned, oh my God, so much. The Tunisian crochet, I got back into looking at the Tunisian crochet channel and Tony. I was able to follow Tony a little better, and I feel more comfortable with my Tunisian hooks and my yarn in hand. The crochet along, my first experience was, I think it was either 2011 or 2012. I don't remember the name of the piece that we did, but the piece itself was beautiful. It was my fault that I chose the wrong colors. I picked colors that seemed vibrant with too sharp of a contrast. I picked 5 colors, and I don't remember all 5 of them, but I remember one being orange, one being like a lime green. I mean, like bright orange. Then that green, and then it was like a forest green, and it was something like a slate blue, but I don't remember the 5th color. And if I had maybe situated the colors differently, it would have looked really pretty together. But the biggest part of it focused on the orange and the lime green. And for some reason, whatever was between them or however it went together, they didn't go together they just didn't. I completed the project. I was committed to it, and I completed it. And everybody called that blanket the ugly orange blanket. But a very dear friend of the family fell in love with the ugly orange blanket, and she took it. Something else I was saying last night. Yes, it's all coming back to me. Okay, so I forgot. I know I was talking about me working with acrylics. I went back into devaluing and how it's not always somebody else that devalues you. Sometimes you devalue yourself. I cheated myself out of so much. Um, when I first learned to crochet, I made a poncho and a hat for myself. That's what Miss Lena taught me to do. And then the very next time she put something in my hand, she literally went to the hardware store and bought a ball of twine and put one of those teeny weeny little finger stabbers in my hand, and I had to make the lace trim to go along the the edge of a queen top sheet. Something is sticking in me, y'all, and it hurts. Okay, so, and I know what it was when I picked up that rug yarn. To me, it's like cacti. The little fibers are like cacti, and I feel it everywhere. It's like when I touch something lightly, it feels like one of the little quills in me. Yeah, that's what it is. But I still want to work with more. Call me hard headed. But anyway, Miss Lena bought me that string, that thread, that fine thread I called it, to work with, and it was not an enjoyable experience for me. And I kind of put the crocheting down for a while until I was in the third grade. So this was like 3 years that I put it down. And we had an arts and craft section in school, and they were teaching all the little girls how to crochet. And I already knew how to crochet. And they were making pot holders. So I went in on and made my pot holder. And they wanted me to, excuse me, they wanted me to help teach the other students. Maybe if I had a different teacher, I would have done that, but we're not going to talk about my third grade year. It was probably one of my worst school years. My biggest bully was my teacher, and she could not stand the fact that I was a teacher's daughter. This woman used to slap me every day, y'all. And I mean literally slap me every day. She would get in my face and you think you're so good because you're a teacher's daughter. Whack! And my mom was a no-nonsense mom. I grew up in the corporal punishment era, and it wasn't abuse. It was correcting your child. And I declare they had a Pony Express because the publications would always get home before I did. And Mama didn't get home until after I did. So how did they get there before I did? How did they get to Mama before I did? And Mama worked all the way in Suffolk, and I went to school in Portsmouth. And my mother was very militant. It was the first day, the first day she slapped me twice. She slapped me, I turned the other cheek, and she slapped me again. Then the second day, no, I went home the first day and I told my mom that she slapped me. My mother being a teacher, that's when I learned all teachers stick together. And I think that's why I never wanted to become one. But she kind of dismissed it. She didn't do anything about it. Excuse me, y'all. So the second day she slapped me, I hit her back. Was it wrong? Yes. Was it wrong for her to slap me? Yes. But two wrongs don't make a right. And Mama got the notice before I knew it, before I even got home, and she asked me, "Did you slap Miss Waldo?" And I said, yes, but no, 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 no. Just answer my question. Did you slap your teacher? Yes. So I got my bottom on. Couldn't explain why. So that went on for the remainder of the school year. Finally, when I was grown, oh my goodness, y'all, it was literally like 30 years later. My mom and I were on our way to church and we were reminiscing. And I said to her, do you remember third grade when I got my butt beat every day? She said, yeah, for slapping your teacher. I said, that's because she was slapping me first. Why didn't you tell me? I said, because you didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to hear it until I got grown. It was like you were a teacher at work and at home. It was just answer my question. I don't want the whole long sob sad story that goes with it. I wasn't allowed to give you that. There was no reasoning. It was just answer the question. But and please don't think that I'm dissing my mom in any way. I think my mother was a great mother. She did the best she absolutely knew how to do. Would I have liked it if some things were changed? Of course. What kid doesn't? I mean, seriously, let's be real. Even our kids wish that the parents would do something different. I know my kids wish I had done a lot differently. I know that, and I'm pretty sure my grandkids will feel the same way about their mother, but it does not mean that my kids love me any less. Doesn't mean that I love my mom any less. Doesn't mean my grandkids love my daughter any less. And I appreciate my mother. I appreciate the good lessons, the happy lessons, the fun lessons, as well as the hard lessons. Because I think all of it molded who I am today. I look at how I fight and struggle with my health, and I don't think that I would have that drive. I don't think that I would be as tenacious with my doctors as I am about, hey, this is what we need to do. This is what's going on, and this is what I expect to happen. Now we're gonna give your way a try for a little while, and if it doesn't, I'm coming back to you with this. Speaking of something very specific right now, but when I go back to her next week, we're gonna make some changes. You best believe. And I'm gonna be down for 6 months. But I will bring you all on that journey with me. I will. I don't know how long I'll be down from crocheting. I don't know anything, but I'm gonna get my paniculectomy. I'm gonna get it. It's causing problems now. Cutting off the circulation to my legs. I'm walking around with feet twice and 3 times the size they're supposed to be, not able to wear shoes, hurting just to walk 3 steps from my room to the bathroom. That's not right. That's not life. So, somebody's gonna get the wax out of their ears and listen. And she watches my YouTube channel too. Hey Danielle. But honestly, I feel like but we're going to talk about the yarn. We're talking about the yarn. Stick to the subject, Kitty. So, when I made the potholders in third grade, and I did not opt to teach anyone else, I think I had such a bad taste in my mouth with the teacher that I just didn't have the drive to pursue the crocheting anymore. Not the lady who taught me to crochet, but my third grade teacher. And everything I did, she would talk about it and put me down and make me feel so bad. She was the first person that ever called me muddy. She was the first person, knowing that I was multiracial, called me muddy. She called me half-breed. She was really not a nice person. She was not. So, I think it was junior high, 6th grade. when I picked up crocheting again, I had become a woman and could not participate in gym class. And I write a lot. I write a lot. I doodle a lot. And there was this word game that I used to play with myself. Excuse me. Where I would write a word or a short sentence and get as many words out of it as I could, smaller words. And my favorite word, of course, was anti-disestablishmentarianism. So I would break that word down a lot. Challenge myself. I had to get 100 words, 150 words, 200 words by the end of class. And yeah, but then I got bored with that, so I started bringing my crocheting to school. And whereas it would have been a problem for some, my uncle was the assistant principal. So he told me I could, I did. And that lasted. Then we moved from that section of Portsmouth to another section, and I couldn't take my crocheting to school with me because I didn't, really know anybody in the neighborhood. I didn't know anybody in the schools. These kids were much more harsh and much more cruel. They called me Moose. They yeah, they made life really, really difficult. I got beat up by all the kids in the neighborhood because they didn't, care for my mom. Excuse me one moment, y'all. You asked me if you could bring Donatello. I see Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Splinter. We said one of them. Thank you. My grandkids like to bring toys in my room. I'm not a fan of toys in my room. They have small pieces. I walk around barefooted. Number one, I'm not trying to break their toys. Number two, I'm not trying to hurt myself with their toys. And then my bed is the community bed. So they play with the toys in the bed. Can you imagine getting ready to go to sleep at night and being stabbed with a staff of Donatello? Or rolling over on an Iron Man or an Incredible Hulk. No, no. So if you keep the toys out there in the play area, but I understand every now and then, you can bring one, and he gets smart with his. He brings the one that comes with attachments. Oh, she's just as smart because she'll bring a doll baby with the brush, and I declare she's going to be a fashion designer. Because anything she finds, if you take a paper towel and dry your hands, she's going to snatch that paper towel and turn it into a cape for the baby doll. The twist bread wrappers, belts. If I don't throw my yarn scraps away, she'll find something to use on the doll baby. Yeah. If I didn't tell everybody that I was doing my recordings and all of this was going on, I wouldn't. Please unlock my door. Please unlock my door. Thank you. I might have to cut this and come back later. I'm going to try to get through this. I gave myself a certain amount of time. I've already blown that because of the interruptions. I was trying to get up to the point of how I devalued myself as far as my crocheting was concerned. I actually started selling my crocheting. Um, when I was in college. Yeah. I made TAMs for the senior choir. Then the other organizations, or the other auxiliaries, I should say, being that we're talking about church, wanted TAMs as well. And that that particular part of it, I really didn't cheat myself out of too bad, because Aunt Evelyn, who was the president of the senior choir, kind of helped me come up with a price. They had talked to someone else about making them, and that lady wanted $25 a tam, and Aunt Evelyn was like, "No, that is way too much." And you think about it now, this is back in 1981, okay? Um, and the skeins of yarn were like $1.39, $1.29, $1.39. And I was a red heart girl. I was so red heart. And we came up with the price of $10 because I was making so many. It gave me a little extra pocket money. I'm in college. I'm, a commuter, and, it just gave me a little extra money. So I was grateful for that. But then I made like the little curly Q ribbons. Cheated myself so bad. The time that went into making those, and I was charging like 50 cents. Pothole is $4. Two panels put together, extra thick. And I would charge $1. Y'all, when y'all see me look like this, my patients are being tested. They're being tested. Maybe this is the day for the patient testing, but it's not gonna be it's not gonna be a cool outcome. Because somebody's gonna end up upset, and it's not gonna be me. So at any rate, as I became a young adult, there is this cab driver that I adopted as a brother very early. I absolutely love my boobala. I love my boobala. We are the same age. We are just 8 months apart. And my mom called him son, and his mom called me daughter. And we were like peas in a pod for a long time. When I drove cab, when I stopped driving cab, he was the last. He was next to the last person that I drove for. I drove for him the longest. I did, and I absolutely love driving for my brother. I love my brother dearly. But at any rate, he asked me to make a baby blanket for his niece, and he asked me the price of the baby blanket. And I also made two others. This light is bothering my eyes. But I also made two other blankets, and I asked him if he would sell, driving around in the cab, I asked him if he would sell the other two. He's a salesman. He has the gift of gab to sell. So he said, "How much do you want for them?" And I said, $25 each. When I tell you that man flipped, when I tell you my brother flipped, he was like, "Go lock up and come with me." So we go to the Red Barn, which is a flea market in the Portsmouth area, and he takes me straight to the display window, and they have a full size, no, a twin size bed, and it's draped with an Afghan that's yellow, green, and white. It's absolutely beautiful. It was the granny square, but it was bordered in shell. But it was so neatly done and not gappy anywhere. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. That lady wanted $325 for that. And I looked at the price and I almost passed out. And I went over to the lady and I had the price tag in my hand. Not the piece. I was afraid to touch the piece. I got gray sticking right there. Y'all see that? At any rate, you see it sticking up right there. Okay. But when I went over to the lady with this price tag, I was like, "Ma'am, please tell me this is like $32.50. She says, "No, it's $320. I was like, "And you actually I said, "Have you ever sold any?" She says, "I sell about 3 a week." I'm like, "You actually sell that many? Oh my God, are you serious?" She says, "Yeah, this is one of the cheaper ones." Lady, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. She said, "Yeah." So we get back to the house. My brother beckons me. I'm sorry. You pull out a notebook, get a pencil, not a pen, because we will be erasing. We're going to figure some things out. And we had to figure out how I was going to do my pricing. And now I got the hiccups. He wanted to go by yardage. But I told him, and at that time I was using the jumbo skeins. I said, I am not. If I use like anywhere from a third to 2/3 of this, I am not going to unravel all this yarn and see how many yards I have left just so I can do it by yardage. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to measure it as I'm crocheting and pulling it out of the skein. We need to come up with something better. So then he suggested that we go by weight. And I'm like, the scale is not going to pick up ounces. We got human scales, not food scales. So he told me about the food scale, and I'm like, I'm just shooting him down from every angle. So he says, "Well, how about stitches? First of all, how much are you paying yourself an hour?" I said, "I never thought about that. I guess $5. Oh, he almost flipped backwards off the couch. He really did. He was like, $5? Are you serious? This is handmade. Why are you selling yourself short?" I don't know. So once he got me to increase that, then it was $10 an hour. We had to figure out how many stitches I crocheted an hour. Yeah. Excuse me. My favorite stitch is single crochet because I do a lot of graph gams. And he timed me. He sat there with me for a little over 4 hours. and we did 3 different hour-long sessions. I wanted to do 15 minutes and multiply it times 4, but he made a very valid point, and it proved itself in the third timing. You don't crochet consistently throughout that hour. Sometimes you speed up, sometimes you slow down. So to take the 15 minutes would be unfair. So that's how that worked. But it's cool. Um, so once we came up with the figure, I'm just throwing it out here right now. This is not the correct figure. It was like 1,000 stitches per hour. So if it took me, say I did a piece that was 2,000 stitches, then of course the 2,000 divided by the 1,000 is 2. Multiply that times the hour, which is $10 an hour. Then I knew that I got um, $20 for that piece. And yeah, it worked for a while, but when you go from charging people below the minimum and then you realize how you cheated yourself, so you start asking for what you're worth. You start asking for what you're worth, and people tend to shy away from you. And they call you things like a cheat, and you're right. I was a cheat. I was cheating myself, and they were capitalizing, and that was so not cool. As I've come along, I've learned. One thing I do is like 20% off for first time buyers, 20% off for family. And if my family doesn't understand and they want more of a discount, then I offer classes. The first session is $25. It lasts an hour. You do get a kit out of it, and then each class after, and I give them the price. So that way you can make your own. I had one friend who wanted me to make her a lacy tablecloth for a dining room table that sat 8. I was so excited to have a project that big with the twine that I went ahead on and got I went in on and got 3 balls and got started. So she came up with the rest of the balls for me. I kind of calculated in my head how many I needed. And here again, my own pattern. And I'm working it up. And somehow or another, it was a fight between her boyfriend and her ex-boyfriend. But the thing of the tablecloth came up in their argument, and one of the guys, the ex-boyfriend, knew how much handmade items were, and he threw a price out there which was still lowballing me. And I told her that I'm like, no, it's this much. And she went bananas. I thought if I bought the yarn, then you were gonna do it for free. No. I do bedroom shoes and slippers. I do hats. I do that. I don't even really do tablecloths. And then you want me to do it free? No, baby. My free days are over. I am not even apologizing for that. Yeah, but this goes all the way back to people leaving negative leaving negative comments. I've dealt with them my whole life. You can't get a reaction out of calling me fat. You can't get a reaction out of calling me funny complected. You can't get a reaction out of saying that I have a big head. So that's where we are. But yes, going back to the beginning, I really would like to thank my subscribers. So please, if you like the content, and sometimes even if you don't, please hit that like button. They count too. Subscribe, share, comment. I do answer comments. I do answer comments. And if I don't answer it right out there in the comment section, I will post about it. Also, the Secret Santa thing with the passing of the yarns, hey, I'm for it. I'm down. Also, I came up with an idea because I found out that Cinnamon Stitches lives so close to me, and I really want to meet her. I think she is like so great. She is just fabulous, and I think the fact that her son is ADHD, and so is my grandson, and my granddaughter, my grandson and granddaughter, and my granddaughter is autistic. I think the fact that I know the challenges that she goes through, and the fact that I know that working with fiber is her sanity, her life, and it's not to sound harsh in any way at all. I think we are people who understand that, people with special needs are people, first and foremost. And we can't baby and pamper them, but we can protect them, because this world out here is harsh, and they're not going to baby and pamper them. So we have to prepare them for that, but at the same time, we have to protect them. So like my grandbabies don't go outside. I mean, they do, but they don't at the same time. Not here in the apartment complex where I live. Anytime you have a 4-year-old boy using 4 letters, and I'm an erotic poet. I write erotic poetry. Anytime you got a 4-year-old child running around out here saying words that I never even heard before, putting combinations of those 4-letter words together like I've never heard. I mean, putting me to shame. I don't, that type of exposure they don't need. And then the fact that they are like super friendly. I remember my mother and my oldest daughter telling me of an instance where my daughter was almost kidnapped. And I just hearing about it after the fact, I mean, talking about it now, I just want to rip somebody apart. My daughter went in the store, and this white van pulled up at the back of my mother's car. And my mom sat in the car. My daughter's 42 now, so this was like 30 years ago. So my daughter comes back out to the car, and the car is locked. And just as these people are opening the side door to the van, my mother wakes up and unlocks the car door. And it was like, it looked like a missed opportunity to them. I mean, and even after she gets in the car, they walk up to the car. I'm I'm fearful in the society that we live in now. Please close my door, baby. But I'm fearful in the society that we live in now because as brazen as they were to do that, they're more brazen now. people will go into your homes and take people. That terrifies me. But I can't let my babies see that I'm frightened. All I can do is protect them. I have to let them live their lives. But I'm going to protect them. If you've never seen a fighting grandmama, you're looking at one. It's not something that I go out looking for, but I'm capable. Whew. That rose something up in me, and I declare I have not been hungry all day. I just got hungry, y'all. Yes, yes, yes. Last night I baked some salmon steaks, and I didn't bake any. We got salad in there, so I was thinking the salmon steaks and the salad, and I baked a cake. I had a taste. Oh my God, I was craving chocolate yesterday, so I baked the chocolate cake, y'all. It's something I haven't done in a while. I can cook, but it's just something like that is something that I had not done in a long time, so I was excited to do it. I do more roasts and stews, anything that I can do in the crock pot now, because I can't stand very long. And I mean, when I tell you my legs, my skin, from the top of my feet up to just above my knees, most of the time it feels like my skin is on fire. I feel like I have boots on. And sometimes I literally have to look down at my feet and see if I have socks on. And I know I don't even wear socks. So it's like fruitless to look down there, but I do, because I feel like I'm wearing socks. And I feel like they're too tight and they're too hot. But the only socks I have on is skin, and I can't take it off. And on top of that, with my feet swelling up so much, it's compromising my skin. So I'm peeling. And it's not cute. It's not cute. Now, don't get me wrong. I have small but shapely legs. It's like I go from the thick thigh and go all the way down to the little leg, but they're shapely. They look like walker's legs. So I got the muscle in the back and everything. With them being swollen, I actually have sexy shaped legs. They are real cute, but they don't feel cute. They don't feel cute at all. They don't feel cute at all. But yes, shouts out to all of my fiber family. Kiera, of course. Jennifer, Crystal, Juan, Tony, Lisa, Robin, Maureen. Maureen is kind of new to me. Create and relate. All I know is create and relate. And that we have the same name. But, and to everybody who has subscribed, please, thank you so much. Please know that thank you is coming from the bottom of my heart. I would like to enhance my equipment, and any donations would be appreciated. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee. But yes, and I'm in this for the long haul, y'all. I'm here. One day I will share my poetry with you. I have done several videos where I've done my signature piece poem, and I'm looking at it. I might be able to do it real quick. I don't want to go too far over time. No, I'll have to save it for another time. We call that a teaser. But yes, I'm going to get back to my crocheting and see if I can. My goal, by the way, is 10,000 stitches a day. It's not hard to achieve. I do about, anyway, On a slow day, I do about 1,000 stitches an hour. On a fast day, I can do, wow, I really, it's hard to say because I've done as many as like 2350, something like that. Um, but on a mediocre day, somewhere between 1250 and 1500. So keeping that in mind, it's not hard to do. It's just that life happens, and now I'm doing the YouTube. So to do a video and I'm pretty sure as I get better at editing, it'll probably take me longer to edit because all I do now is really go back and look at it and say, okay, I don't even know how to cut parts out yet. I'm learning all of this. All of this is new to me. And I refuse to act my techno kids because they just seem like they be so impatient sometimes. It's like, well, if you do this, you might be. And I'm like, I'll figure it out. I'll get it. But thank you, Kiara, for all of your help. All of your help. She has been great, guys. She's been absolutely beautiful. But yes. Oh, and Surah. I didn't say Surah. She hasn't posted in a while. I hope she's okay. Oh, and Llama Mama, Kayla. Yes. Oh, yes. Lisa, I'm so happy that you all had a wonderful vacation. I really, really am. That just does my heart good. But everybody, please keep Jennifer and her family in your prayers and your hearts and in your good wishes as they continue on their journey. So, with that being said, when you look in that mirror, always tell that image, I love you. But in everything you say, everything you do, everything you feel, know deep in your soul that I love you too. Good day.